Why growth mindset doesn't work. What millionaires do instead. The truth about growth mindset. It's not enough to make you rich. You've been lied to about growth mindset, and I'm about to prove it to you in the next 10 minutes. Right now, you probably think that believing you can improve is enough to make you wealthy. You've read Carol Dweck's research, you've done the positive affirmations, you've visualized your success. But here's what's really happening in your bank account right now. It looks exactly the same as it did 6 months ago, doesn't it? Maybe you've had some small wins, but the big breakthrough, the life-changing wealth, still waiting. And you're starting to wonder if there's something wrong with you. Let me tell you something that's going to change everything for you. There's nothing wrong with you, but there is something wrong with what you've been taught. Growth mindset without subconscious reprogramming is like trying to drive a Ferrari with the parking brake on. You can press the gas pedal all you want, but you're not going anywhere fast. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what the wealthiest people on Earth know that you don't. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why your current approach has been sabotaging your success. You see, when Carol Dweck discovered growth mindset, she made a revolutionary breakthrough about learning and achievement. But here's what she didn't tell you, and what most success gurus completely ignore. Your conscious mind, where all that positive thinking happens, controls only 5% of your behavior. 5%. The other 95%, that's running on autopilot in your subconscious mind. And right now, your subconscious is programmed for exactly the financial results you're getting. Bob Proctor understood this better than anyone who ever lived. He spent 60 years studying the human mind and discovered something that will shock you. Every single belief you have about money was installed in your subconscious before you turned 7 years old. Think about that for a moment. Your current financial situation is being controlled by the beliefs of a 6-year-old version of yourself. A 6-year-old who heard mommy and daddy fight about money. A 6-year-old who was told that money doesn't grow on trees. A 6-year-old who learned that wanting money makes you greedy and selfish. And that 6-year-old is still running your financial life today. This is why you can have all the growth mindset in the world and still struggle financially. Because deep in your subconscious, you have what Bob Proctor called paradigms. A paradigm is a multitude of habits, and these habits control 95% of your behavior. Right now, you have paradigms that automatically create financial struggle. The wealthy have paradigms that automatically create financial abundance. And here's the kicker. Your paradigms were not chosen by you. They were installed by your environment, your family, your culture, before you even knew what money was. Let me give you a real example that will blow your mind. Napoleon Hill spent 25 years studying the wealthiest people of his time for his book, Think and Grow Rich. He discovered that every single one of them had what he called a definite chief aim. But it wasn't just about having a goal. These people had completely rewired their subconscious minds to see themselves as already successful. Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in history, told Hill something profound. He said that he spent more time working on his mindset than he did working on his business, because he understood that his external world was just a reflection of his internal world. Your current financial situation is a perfect reflection of your subconscious programming. If you're broke, it's because your subconscious believes you should be broke. If you're struggling, it's because your subconscious believes you deserve to struggle. And no amount of positive thinking will change that until you change the programming. This is what Maxwell Maltz discovered when he wrote Psycho-Cybernetics. He was a plastic surgeon who noticed something strange about his patients. Some people would get dramatic facial surgery and immediately feel more confident and successful. Others would get the exact same surgery and still feel ugly and worthless. The difference wasn't in their physical appearance. The difference was in their self-image. Your self-image is like a thermostat for your life. Just like a thermostat keeps your house at a certain temperature, your self-image keeps your life at a certain level. And right now, your financial thermostat is set to exactly where you are. This is why lottery winners go broke within 5 years. Their self-image never changed. They still saw themselves as poor people who just happened to have money. So their subconscious mind did everything possible to get rid of that money and return them to their comfortable level of poverty. Your subconscious mind is not trying to hurt you. It's trying to keep you safe and consistent with who it thinks you are. But if who you think you are is someone who struggles with money, then struggle is what you'll get. Wallace Wattles understood this when he wrote The Science of Getting Rich over 100 years ago. He said that riches come to the person who thinks and acts in a certain way. Not just thinks in a certain way, but thinks and acts. Because thinking without aligned action is just daydreaming. But here's where most people get it wrong. They try to act their way into wealth without changing their internal programming, and their subconscious fights them every step of the way. You've probably experienced this yourself. You set a financial goal, you get excited, you take massive action for a few weeks. Then something happens. You start to feel uncomfortable. You start to doubt yourself. You start to find excuses to quit. That's not lack of willpower. That's your subconscious mind pulling you back to your comfort zone, back to the financial level it believes you belong at. Earl Nightingale called this the strangest secret. He said that you become what you think about most of the time. But here's what he really meant. You don't become what you consciously think about. You become what your subconscious mind believes to be true about you. And your subconscious mind only believes what it has been programmed to believe through repetition and emotion. This is why affirmations don't work for most people. You're standing in front of a mirror saying, "I am wealthy," while your subconscious mind is laughing at you because it knows you don't really believe it. And if you don't believe it, it's not going to manifest it. But here's the good news, and this is where your life starts to change. Your subconscious mind can be reprogrammed. Every belief you have was learned, which means it can be unlearned. Every paradigm you have was installed, which means it can be replaced. The wealthy understand something that you're about to understand. They don't just set financial goals. They become the type of person who naturally achieves those goals. They don't just want more money. They transform their identity into someone who naturally attracts more money. Jeff Bezos didn't just want to build a big company. He became the type of person who builds big companies. Oprah Winfrey didn't just want to be successful. She became the type of person who turns everything she touches into gold. Elon Musk didn't just want to be innovative. He became the type of person who sees possibilities where others see impossibilities. This is identity-level change, and it's the only type of change that creates permanent results. Here's exactly how you do it, and this is the method that's about to transform your financial life forever. First, you need to understand that your current identity was created through emotional repetition. Every belief you have about money came from an emotional experience. Maybe you felt shame when your parents couldn't afford something you wanted. Maybe you felt fear when you heard adults talking about money problems. Maybe you felt guilt when you wanted something expensive. These emotional experiences created neural pathways in your brain that still influence your financial decisions today. To create a new financial identity, you need new emotional experiences. You need to feel wealthy before you become wealthy. You need to feel abundant before abundance shows up in your life. This is what Neville Goddard meant when he said, "Feeling is the secret." Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. When you consistently imagine yourself as already wealthy and you feel the emotions of being wealthy, your subconscious mind accepts this as reality. And once your subconscious accepts it as reality, it starts to create circumstances in your external world to match your internal reality. But here's the key that most people miss. You can't just imagine being wealthy for 5 minutes a day and expect it to work. You need to live from this new identity consistently. You need to make decisions from this new identity. You need to act from this new identity even when your current circumstances don't match it yet. This is what Bob Proctor called living in the wish fulfilled. You start being the person you want to become before you have the results you want to have. And this feels uncomfortable at first because it goes against everything your current programming tells you. Your old paradigm will fight you. It will tell you that you're being unrealistic. It will remind you of all the times you've failed before. It will try to pull you back to your comfort zone. But this is exactly when you need to persist, because on the other side of that discomfort is the financial breakthrough you've been searching for. Tony Robbins calls this the breakthrough point. It's the moment when your new programming becomes stronger than your old programming. And once you reach that point, wealth creation becomes automatic. You don't have to force it anymore. You don't have to struggle for it anymore. It just flows naturally from who you've become. Think about the wealthiest person you know personally. I guarantee you that making money seems effortless for them. Not because they don't work hard, but because they've aligned their identity with wealth creation. They don't have internal conflict about money. They don't have subconscious blocks about deserving success. They simply expect to be successful, and their expectation creates their reality. This is what's available to you right now, but you have to be willing to do the inner work that most people won't do. You have to be willing to examine your current beliefs about money and success. You have to be willing to feel uncomfortable as you stretch into a new identity. You have to be willing to persist even when your old programming tries to sabotage you. Because here's what I know about you. The fact that you're watching this video tells me that you're not satisfied with your current financial situation. The fact that you've made it this far tells me that you're serious about changing your life. And the fact that you're still here tells me that you have what it takes to make this transformation. You don't need more information. You don't need more strategies. You don't need more tactics. What you need is to become the type of person who naturally attracts the wealth you desire. And that transformation starts right now, in this moment, with the decision to reprogram your subconscious mind for abundance. Your broke identity got you to where you are today. Your wealthy identity will take you to where you want to be tomorrow. The only question is, are you ready to make that shift? Because your future self is waiting for you to become who you were always meant to be. If you're ready to go deeper, if you're ready to do the real work of subconscious reprogramming, then join us in the vault. This is where we take everything you've learned today and turn it into permanent transformation. This is where you become the person you were born to be. Your new life is waiting. The only question is, will you claim it? Welcome to Luxona, where millionaires are made.